Hello, PD Buzz readers. My name is Claire McLean. I'm a physical therapist here in Orange County. I specialize working with people with Parkinson's. PD Buzz asked me to share a little bit about myself, and I thought maybe it might be interesting to do that as a video instead of just in written format. So I'm here to answer a couple questions. Please let me know if you have any others. So here we go. So first question I was asked is, how did I decide to work with people with Parkinson's? And this really started during my time in physical therapy school at University of Southern California. They have an excellent PT school. And while I was there, some of the earliest research was occurring looking at brain change in people with Parkinson's. So prior to that, at one point in time, physical therapy was thought just to help people work on flexibility, posture, strength. And then there started to be more and more research coming out in other populations, like people who had had a stroke, that showed that exercise could actually improve the function of the brain. And there could be neuroplasticity, which is positive, well, can be positive or negative, but in our case, we're really looking for positive neuroplastic changes, that the brain can change and improve at any age when it's given the right environment and the right kinds of challenges. So there was research happening at USC, having people with Parkinson's walk on a treadmill at high intensity with regards to heart rate, and also they were getting feedback about the quality of their walking, their step length, arm swing, posture, and this exercise was progressive over time. And that was the first research study that was published showing positive brain change for people with Parkinson's, and that it wasn't just good for the body, but that it actually could have an effect on the brain. And that was very exciting to learn about. And one of my mentors, Beth Fisher, is at USC, and she was one of the ones doing this research and had done quite a bit of other research as well, looking at animal models, and has published a lot since then as well in humans. And so I learned about this while I was in PT school, and just thought it was really exciting and compelling. And so that's kind of what got me started. After physical therapy school at USC, I completed a neurologic physical therapy residency program, which for physical therapists isn't required, but it's something you can do if you want to specialize in a certain area. And I knew once I was graduating from physical therapy school that I was really interested in working with people who had neurologic conditions. I find the nervous system to be very interesting. And there's a lot of research coming out showing how much people can improve in response to physical therapy and exercise. And I also found that there weren't a lot of other therapists out there specializing in this area. So there's a huge need. There are a lot of people who have neurologic conditions who don't necessarily have access to the type of services that would really help them. So I completed this neurologic physical therapy residency through University of Southern California and Rancho Los Amigos. And during that residency, we treated patients in the clinic. We had mentoring time. We did research projects, we took classes, we helped teach classes at USC, and we spent time with the neurologists at USC. So that was a really great experience. I learned a lot in that year. During that year, I took the first LSVT Big course that was done by Becky Farley, who had developed the LSVT Big protocol, which was the first physical therapy protocol specifically designed for people with Parkinson's that was research-based. So I learned about that and started utilizing that in the clinic. And because I was placed at USC, we just had a lot of referrals for people with Parkinson's from the USC Movement Disorders Clinic. So partially working with people with Parkinson's happened a little bit by accident because it was the population that we had a lot of referrals for. But when I started working with that population and started taking courses and learning, I saw that people could get better, and they were telling me what they were doing with me was different than they had done elsewhere. They had gone to physical therapy before, and it hadn't really made that much of a difference. You know, when they were in physical therapy, it was helpful, but then when they would walk out, it didn't really feel like anything was different. And we were utilizing this intensive program. People were coming in 4 times a week for 4 weeks, and they were saying, this is really different. I feel different when I leave here. I feel better. I notice these improvements continue. And that was very exciting for me as a physical therapist to see people get better who were diagnosed with a progressive neurologic condition and weren't supposed to be getting better. So that was kind of my first taste of offering something that was special and unique and people didn't have access to necessarily very many places. That was in 2007, 2008. Since then, I'll give you the short version. I've worked in a number of different clinics, mostly in outpatient settings, really primarily with people with Parkinson's. I've continued to take as many courses as I could. participate in research studies whenever possible, take all different types of courses, read lots of research articles and books, and teach in physical therapy programs and continuing education courses. I taught for LSVT Big for a few years. And then Becky Farley started the nonprofit Parkinson Wellness Recovery to open a gym in Tucson that's for people with Parkinson's, so they can have access to this ongoing research-based programming. And she's developed the Power Moves, and we started teaching courses for physical and occupational therapists, and of course for fitness professionals as well. So I still work closely with Power and teach courses. And then up until a few years ago, I was working at Hoag Hospital. That was a great experience as well. I learned so much working there, and individual therapy was great, but we also started doing some group classes for people who, once they were discharged with one-on-one physical therapy, could continue with afterwards. So they could keep exercising with guidance and supervision, and so those exercises could be progressive over time. You have someone there teaching and continuing to push you. So I really enjoyed teaching those classes. And for some of the classes, we were actually doing assessments where we tested people. And over the course of time, over a period of longer than a year, what we saw is that people, when they were exercising consistently in classes, were actually improving instead of getting worse with Parkinson's, which is supposed to be progressive. So I thought, this is amazing, and we really need to have a lot more of this available in Orange County. So I ended up leaving Hoag and starting my own business to offer more access to ongoing exercise in Orange County, more different types of classes, exercise classes at different levels of athletic ability, and basically try to keep incorporating all the research that's coming out and make our exercise programming the best it can possibly be. So a few years ago, we started Rogue Physical Therapy and Wellness, and when we first started, we had one class a week. Over the past 3.5 years, we have grown to having 18 classes a week, and we're working out of a gym, an Anytime Fitness gym on Warner. And things have grown more and more, and we realized we really needed to get our own space. I was hoping to do more educational lectures and other events and host courses, as well as expand the number and types of classes that we had. So in January, we started looking for our place, and finally in September of this year, we found this amazing location that was actually bigger than I expected to be able to find and for us to be able to utilize, but I think we're really going to be able to grow into it. So we moved here in November and have been running classes here for about a month. We have 18 different classes per week. When we're adding more classes in January, and we will be adding classes on Saturdays in February. We're also looking at offering late afternoon and evening programming for people who work. So excited to really be able to offer whatever is helpful and useful for the community of people with Parkinson's. Currently, we have power moves classes, cardio challenge classes, circuit classes, boxing, and strength classes. And we have classes that are at different levels of athletic ability. So whether someone with Parkinson's was just recently diagnosed and they're very active, but they want to get some help and figure out exactly what they should do and how to keep challenging themselves and try new and different things, we have classes that are great for that group of people. We also have classes for people who have had Parkinson's longer and need a little more guidance for their exercises to know what to do and to make sure to be able to do them safely while still challenging themselves. And we have classes for people who have more balance impairment that really need a little more supervision for safety with exercise. So we're really trying to have classes that are helpful to people across the spectrum of disease severity for having Parkinson's, and no matter how long someone's had Parkinson's or what their other health issues are, we're trying to accommodate and have classes for as many people as possible. We also do individual wellness, so one-on-one sessions for people that classes maybe aren't their preferred way of exercising or it's not a great fit for them. So we also do one-on-one wellness. As a part of our classes, we do comprehensive assessment. So we do a baseline assessment when someone first starts classes, and then we do that assessment every 6 months so that we can set goals and really be proactive and stay on top of things, identify what are the areas where someone really is strong, and then identify if there are areas where someone maybe has some room for improvement, and then work on that. And over time, we can see if those things do improve, great. If they don't, or if something gets worse, we can be proactive and discuss when individual therapy is a good idea and help people find someone in their community where they should go for some insurance-based individual therapy. And so we're really excited to expand and be able to offer more here. So if you're interested in coming and seeing our new location or trying a class, we would love to have you. Just give us a call at 714-276-3992 or email us at info@roguept.com. You can check out our website at roguept.com as well. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.